Good morning and welcome everyone, to those of you in our vibrant sanctuary this morning and online. Wherever you are, wherever you come from, whoever you love, however you identify, whatever yearning for hope brings you here today, we are glad you are here. My name is Erin Shadle. I have the privilege of serving as worship associate this morning. I am a 40-something, very stereotypical white woman, wearing my favorite color purple shirt today. I'm standing on the chancel alongside Reverend Audette this morning. We have Simon Jacobs on tech. We have the wonderful Finn Magill. We're very honored to have him here today on violin. And we have Les serving us with piano and music. We also want to acknowledge and thank everyone else who lends a hand behind the scenes, our coffee and cleanup crew, our ushers, our greeters. It takes so many of us to make a day like today work, and we are grateful for each and every one of you. Here in our first service of 2026, let us pause and take a moment to silence your devices, settle your hearts, and be together in this sacred hour. Good morning again and welcome. Just as a note, because we're full again today, if you've got a space between you, could you
move closer to your neighbor if you're able to do that. But raise your hand so we can see, especially ushers outside, to point people towards seating. We can also sit in the choir loft today, just so you know, because the choir isn't here this morning. Isn't it a great problem to have so many folks here? I want to take a minute now and invite Gabriel up to help me with the chalice this morning. He's an expert, just so you know. The light, oh, got it? We put it out. Here, watch, we can do this. No worries. You and me together. Hold it. There you go. It's going to pop. There you go. See? The light of the Unitarian Universalist chalice has, since the 1940s, shone out as a symbol of our faith and our commitment to justice, peace, and human rights. The light of our chalice must remain strong and bright in our congregations and in our hearts in all the days to come. Once again, we gather and we kindle the flame of hope, peace, and fierce commitment to a better world that it represents. Now we're going to sing together now. We're going to rise and sing Return Again. We're going to sing it through 2 times, just so you know. So let's sing together now. I have a cool story for you guys. I have a very cool story, and I bet a lot of you know it. This is a really popular one. It's called The Rabbit Listened by Corey Dorfield. Okay. And I bet you guys know where this is going. One day, Taylor wanted to build something new, something special. But then, out of nowhere, what happened? Things came crashing down. I bet we've all had things crash down in our lives. Mm-hmm. The chicken was the first to notice. Cluck, cluck, what a shame. I'm so sorry this happened. Let's talk about it, cluck, cluck, cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. Grr, arg, how horrible. I bet you feel angry. Let's shout about it. Grr. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting.
So the bear left. The elephant knew just what to do. Trumpeta, I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering, so the elephant also left. One by one they came. The hyena, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, no, let's hide and pretend nothing happened. The kangaroo, what a mess, let's clean it up and throw it all away. And the snake, shh, let's go knock down someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually they all left. Sometimes when we're super sad, we don't feel like doing anything with anybody. And Taylor was alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could finally feel its warm body. Together they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please, stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide and to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. "It's going to be amazing." So how did the rabbit feel? Did the rabbit feel angry toward Taylor, or did the rabbit feel love toward Taylor? What do you think? Love. So Taylor was ready to begin again with love. Thank you all. Grown-ups, we're going to sing our kids down to their faith formation class. If you are visiting or you haven't been here often, please walk with your kid downstairs so you can see where they'll be and where to pick them up after the service. So before we begin a time of prayer and of acknowledging our joys and concerns, I want to say to you, of course, this service was prepared before the abruption to the international rule of law to which the United States has previously been committed. This is a difficult time, and the incursion against Venezuela is a decision that has significant consequences, and we're not yet in a position to fully understand all of them. So I just want to acknowledge that this sits with us this morning, and I believe what we can and must do is wrestle first with it in our hearts and hold it as a community, which I hope this time of prayer and ritual will begin. And so we're going to start before our prayer by lighting a candle of peace. So take a moment now, let's settle our bodies, settle our hearts, our minds into a time of meditation and prayer. Holy Spirit, Ruach, breath of life, again, the days bring challenge, confusion, sometimes worry,
And we, as people gathered in search of a better world, wonder what we should do. Remind us of our power. Remind us that we can pick up the phone, pick up a pen, show up in person, make our voices heard. More than ever, we need to raise our voices for peace, for justice, for the rule of law. Remind us of our history as a people who, again and again, have fought with heart and hope for a brighter future, for an ever-widening circle of beloveds. Remind us of our love, the love we have for our children, our neighbors, the community that surrounds us, the very earth herself, and the ideals of compassion, equity, and interdependence which shape that love. When fear enters in, gift us with steadfastness. When anger sharpens in our gut, let it motivate us to action, but sweeten it with compassion and let it be grounded so we may remain on this journey together all the way to its end. May people everywhere be called to peace and find peace. May we be called into action. May we all be guided by our better angels. Love, do not let us go. Amen, Ashe, blessed be, Aho. And so now is the time in our service where we will share our joys and concerns with the slightly newly configured sanctuary. We've added chairs. It's a good thing we did, I think. We are still going to come into two sections. You'll come down, but now you see the rocks are close by. You'll just add it into the bowls and return to your seats through the middle. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but just a reminder, when you are trying to get back to your seats, go ahead and say, excuse me, or just slip by if you can so we don't kind of clump up and get stalled. That's the only thing that can sometimes happen. But other than that, we invite you now to line up and we will have a time of joys and sorrows. We first salt the water for all that is salty in our hearts, painful, a little bit grating. And we also sprinkle flower petals for memory, for beauty, for those things that bring us joy and comfort. And now, please join us in a ritual of joys and concerns. And now into the vessel we place 2 more rocks for the joys and the sorrows of those who are not present with us in the sanctuary this morning, because gathered or apart, we are one community.
This morning we'll be doing a responsive reading called All Are Welcome. It is adapted from Wendy Bartell and Lynn Gardner. And the way we'll do this is I will speak a few lines and you will see your response on the screen. There's only 2 lines. You'll see first it's All Are Welcome, and then as we go it will shift to something different. And I will let you know when it's your turn. Okay. My pages are out of order. Pardon. Aha, I'm so sorry. From our separate joys and struggles, we come here to find the peace of balance, to find the blessing of restlessness. All are welcome. We come to follow, to lead, to teach, to learn, to join in the dance, to catch our breath. All are welcome. We come to give generously, to receive gratefully, to wonder privately, to explore cooperatively. All are welcome. If we are steady and composed, if we feel completely lost, if we don't know what we're feeling, this community has a place for us. We matter. All are loved. If you are here to learn, here to love, here to create change in yourself, in the world, we want you to know this community is here for you. We matter. We are loved.
There are times when the world is a different place when you lay down than the one that you woke up in. For me, there was this one particular July 3rd when I went to bed as a mother after a lifetime of being just me. There was that horrifying day when the planes flew into the Twin Towers. Another night, I laid down with a cancer diagnosis. Watching the drone footage of a completely silent and empty Times Square in March of 2020 when we lived uptown, that was quite a night. It felt a lot like that in November of 2024. And then again yesterday too, seeing the news and reflecting on the implications. Now, each of us has experienced some version of a different world at nightfall from the one that we woke up into. But after years of political upheaval followed by a worldwide pandemic and then our own recovery from a hurricane, we are all in different days now. And the start of a new year can bring up a lot. It brings up our hopes, it can bring up our fears, it brings up our longings. My guess is that most of you are already profoundly aware of the impacts of the current stressors on yourselves and on those around you. And even now, years past COVID isolation, people still report feeling awkward and having forgotten how to engage in small talk. Does anybody have that sense? It's like, I don't remember how to do that, right? There are more workplace stressors after years of low contact engagement, and in general, there's an understandable default that we sometimes have to being focused on ourselves, maybe even to the detriment of remembering how to build community. Now, this is nothing inexplicable. In a UU World article titled Meeting Trauma with Choices and Radical Hospitality, author Heather Beasley Doyle noted, with each large world event, a tsunami in Indonesia, Hurricane Katrina or Helene, a mass shooting, a congregant's diagnosis, more congregants requested pastoral counseling, while others distanced themselves. My colleague, the Reverend Liz Stevens, noticed that within days of a new challenge, there would be a really strange conflict, like an email fight between two people who were normally pretty solid, she says. And it's trauma. Trauma was manifesting in her congregation. Sometimes when we feel powerless, she says, we look to assert power in the sphere where we have power and influence, which might be the congregation. Stevens now anticipates trauma's myriad expressions, its unpredictability, and its messiness. Long story short, when traumatized, we seek comfort, usually on our own terms, and many of us seek to exert power in places where we feel safe or where we feel empowered. That might be a congregation, but it might be with our kids or with our loved ones, our spouses. Sometimes we don't recognize our own rawness or vulnerabilities, and we can become inflexible or rigid. We fail to look for common ground. We can default to us versus them thinking. That's one of the first things that often happens. And this is an issue that affects not just congregations, but it's especially widespread in nonprofits, in justice organizations, and in community movements, where the reason for the institution to exist is to serve a higher purpose or a calling. And sometimes it feels like everything is just falling apart and the center is not holding. Now, I don't know how many of you know Maurice Mitchell. He's amazing. He is a nationally recognized social movement strategist. He's a visionary leader in the movement for Black lives. He's a community organizer for racial, social, and economic justice. And he has written one of the most powerful tonics to the kind of infighting that sometimes happens in anxious times, especially in those places where people intend to hold love and justice as core values. Now, the work is called, with this exciting title, I know you're all going to want to rush out and read it, it's called Building Resilient Organizations. But it actually is a lot more radical and transformative than that sounds. And here's a piece from it. He notes in this piece, movements on the left are driven by the same political and social contradictions that we strive to overcome. We fight against racism, classism, sexism, yet we battle inequity and oppression inside our movements. Although we struggle for freedom and democracy, we also suffer from tendencies that we all have towards abuse and domination. We promote leadership and courage by individuals, but media exposure, social media fame, and access to resources can compromise activists. We draw from the courage of radical traditions, but we often lack the strategy and the conviction to challenge the status quo. The radical demands that we do make are so regularly disregarded that it can feel like we're shouting into the wind. Many of us are working harder than ever, but feeling like we have less power and impact. There are things we can and must do to shift movements for justice towards a powerful position of joy and victory. Such a metamorphosis is not inevitable, but it is essential. And so then he writes this entire brilliant treatise on the problem and all these possible solutions. But I want to draw attention to some core questions that he offers up for our collective liberatory path. Organizations, for example, congregations, need to know and be able to love themselves into the answers that he points towards here. And here's what he says. He says, resilient organizations are structurally sound, ideologically coherent, strategically grounded, and emotionally mature. Structurally sound, ideologically coherent, strategically grounded, and emotionally mature. And about our organizations, we have to ask, what kind of community vehicle are we? Where are we going? How do we get there? And how do we behave on that journey? Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal faith. Our lives together are centered not on what do we believe in common, but rather how shall we love each other and the world. This theological commitment is absolutely radical in a world becoming more polarized by the day. The transformational power lies not in the theory, but in the practice. Where are we going? How shall we get there? How should we behave on the journey? Now, I'm involved with several Unitarian Universalist organizations, and it just so happened, as it does sometimes, that they were just all conducting significant staff searches, all at the same time, not too long ago. So I was reading a lot of CVs and a lot of resumes and cover letters and taking part in a lot of interviews. And one thing just immediately became crystal clear very quickly. And that was how many of the applicants were just looking for something different. Many had left relatively lucrative fields or positions of some tenure to seek a position with a smaller organization whose mission was to serve the world in a meaningful way. Again and again, people were speaking to this longing. They said, I want to spend my time doing something that makes a difference. I want greater balance in my life. I can't keep working at a job that does not align with my values. I want to serve a higher purpose. Here at UU Asheville, we've also seen an influx of young people and newcomers, people who are looking for the very same thing. And a new world is always waking up, a world in which tender, troubled people with a trembling hope that something better is still possible. They arrive at the doors of our congregations. Now, what happens after they arrive has the power to change the world, but it's not a certainty. The Reverend Bill Sinkford wrote about this in an article called On Predicting the Future. This year, I am serving as, he's not doing it this year, this was in the past, as transitional minister at All Souls Unitarian in Washington, D.C. I'm also the minister emeritus of First Unitarian Portland, Oregon, where I completed 12 years of service last June. I have been UUA president, where I 8 years as the solo president when Unitarian Universalism was growing in numbers and in spirit, and a few months as one of 3 interim co-presidents when the ability of this faith to fulfill its promise was much in doubt. Now, almost every Sunday, I meet someone who is returning for the first time. Some members lost the habit of church during COVID, and they're not going to return. Watching church in pajamas has also become a very real choice. More will come, but not as often, at least not yet. While others, including some in the disabled and elderly communities, may continue to find it easier to attend virtually. Given the choices, how will we support depth of connection? Will our understanding of covenant begin to change? In many congregations, most perhaps, the stream of visitors, it continues. Folks continue to be drawn by the openness of our faith, the big non-creedal theological tent that we are trying to pitch. They are drawn by their desire for values-based religious and sexuality education for their children, by Black Lives Matter signs and rainbow flags that promise a faith no longer shaped by uninspected privilege and a monocultural understanding of God's love. They come yearning for connection in a community that still finds it possible to believe in love. Now, these are all hopeful signs, but Unitarian Universalists must welcome the reality that we are at another beginning. In other words, we have to accept that once again, today, this morning, this new year, a new world is waking. So our task as a radical, transformational, progressive faith tradition, one with centuries of experience, eschewing rigid adherence to mere orthodoxy and facing with courage the task of just seeking enduring wisdom in a world of rapid change. Our job is to continue to open our hearts to one another with vulnerability and with compassion, to genuinely seek each other's well-being while widening that circle of compassion and continuously including more people, more experiences of worship and of wonder, deeper understandings of the differences and delights we can find in those discoveries. The Reverend Nancy McDonald Ladd described that kind of work in this way, and I'm going to take a sip of water before I tell you, because you got to hear her. We can be both broken and called forth. We can only be converted from what we have been if we are also loving enough to bless every single odd but humane thing that went into building our capacity for that conversion, including our periods of resistance and the occasional descent into our fears. After all, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be God's own image to be worthy of continuing the work. And we don't have to be paragons of fearless virtue to deserve the simple grace of second chances. Flawed people can be afraid. They can fail, and they can try again. People of privilege aren't broken irreparably by that privilege. The will to personal power doesn't negate the will to mutuality. There is always another chance and a different story to tell about who we think we're meant to be in this beautiful and tragic world. I think most days we're supposed to go to sleep in a world at least a little different from the one in which we woke. We're supposed to be changed by our unexpected experiences, and even more so by the people that we meet and that we care about along the way. The work of covenantal, continuously widening faith community is to intentionally make the world a little different every day by practicing radical compassion, asking a few important questions, listening, sometimes just cuddling up like a warm rabbit to the people who need us. We're going to ask a few important questions here at the end of this sermon and this time that we have made for one another. This is from a piece called "Can You Believe" by Sean Dennison. Can you believe in a world where no one is turned away for being wrong? Can you believe in a world where mistakes are simply a way of learning? Can you believe in a place where you can feel the lightness of not knowing? Can you believe there is room enough at the table for you and the one you call enemy? Can you believe in the improvisational nature of mystery and an irrational compassion? Can you believe that that in training you to be a devil's advocate, it was a way of stealing your tenderness? Can you believe you can get your tenderness back and become a chief collaborator with love? I hope you can. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
We're going to sing hymn 368, Now Let Us Sing, which requires a little instruction. There are two parts that overlap. There's the part that leads, the words are in white, and it sounds like this. And then there's the part that follows, words are in gold, that sounds like this. They go back and forth. They're not always together. We're going to try it. I'm going to cue you. Please rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing in a cappella. Yeah. Here we go. I'll give you a 1, 2, 3, and then we go, basses. 1, 2. Hey. Stop. We're doing it. Listen to the music director, okay? Always do what the music director tells you. Here we go, basses. 1, 2, 3.
Now let us sing. Joy within. Now let us sing. Sing to the power of the joy within. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the joy within.
Bravo.
Well, now that we know we can all follow instructions, I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge and welcome any visitors that we might have among us. If you'd like to stand, be recognized, let us know your name, where you're visiting from. We have some ushers that will bring around microphones so we can all hear you.
No, I did it. Sorry.
I think I see someone in the back corner here.
Good morning. I'm Annabeth. I live in Canton. A little bit of a drive, but not far. In the last few years, for a very long time, my spiritual practice has really been very self-directed, and primarily me and my garden and the natural world around me, and some lovely small groups of people in song. But I'm really feeling drawn toward a larger circle of community. And I appreciate y'all being here and being honest and real and broken and whole and beautiful. Thanks.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Jordan, and this is Tom. We're very similar. Our faith has been very self-directed for a long time, but we have an almost 2-year-old, and we've been looking for a bigger circle as well, and just community, especially social-based, and radical compassion is a big thing in our life, and so we felt very drawn to be here. So thanks for welcoming us.
Welcome. Okay. Going once? Going twice? Sold. All right. Please wave to this. Oh, we don't have to wave to a slide. We have a real Trevor here. Trevor is our connections coordinator, so he would love to speak with you and answer any questions about UU and see you after the service. He'll also be at the welcome table in Sandberg Hall across the way. Our announcements run as slides at the beginning of the service. If you missed them, please refer to Thursday's e-news, as everything is described there. If you don't receive that in your inbox, please email us at information@uuasheville.org and we'll get you signed up. I'd also like to remind folks that we do have members of the pastoral care team here today in Sandberg Hall during coffee hour. If you have anything heavy on your heart or your mind, they are here with open arms to support you in any way. So just a reminder that they are an important part of our community. How do we identify them? That's a great question.
Right now, if you're a member of the pastoral care team, why don't you raise your hand so we can see you real quick?
Pastoral care team? Great.
Yellow name tags, thank you.
Yes, they have yellow name tags on. Thank you very much. Perfect question. Appreciate it. All right, our community plate partner this month is the Food Connection, and we have Marcia McMorrin, who is here to tell us a little bit about this wonderful organization.
Hi, good morning. It's Marisha, but that happens all the time. It's okay. Thank you so much for having me here today and for choosing Food Connection as the beneficiary for your generous offerings. Food Connection was founded 11 years ago in response to the amount of delicious and nutritious surplus chef-prepared food that was ending up in the landfill after weddings, conferences, and every day from cafeterias at places like UNC Asheville and Mission Hospital. 40% of all food produced in the United States ends up in the landfill. It is one of the largest contributors of methane, a greenhouse gas more potent than carbon dioxide. Prepared food rotting in the landfill is the largest substance, the largest matter that ever makes its way to the landfill. So by keeping this food out of the landfill, Food Connection helps to create a more sustainable world. Once we intercept this prepared food, like we did on Friday, our team went to the Omni Grove Park Inn just up the road. and filled our transit van with sliced beef tenderloin, grilled salmon, roasted asparagus and Brussels sprouts, and gourmet macaroni and cheese. Once we rescue that food, one of two things happens. Some of it went directly to agencies who serve the community, like the Western Carolina Rescue Mission, Homeward Bound's A Hope Day Center, to our shelters, Transformation Village, 12 Baskets Cafe. This supports our agencies in providing nutritious, delicious food that Asheville is known for to the communities that they serve. The rest of it goes back to our hub at St. George's Episcopal Church in West Asheville, where our staff and amazing volunteers take that food and repackage it into individual heat and serve meals. Once the meals are made, they get loaded into Fran, our free food truck, and they go out beyond where the bus line reaches, into neighborhoods and communities where individuals, families, and our senior neighbors are struggling to make ends meet. Every week, you will find on our website, we are in Leicester, Fairview, Candler, Swannanoa, and Weaverville. Food Connection believes in service with dignity, and all are welcome to come for meals with no questions asked. The only question we ever ask is, would you like tenderloin, salmon, or lasagna? In a world where there seems to be scarcity everywhere you turn, we believe that there is always an equal abundance. And that's where Food Connection magic happens, connecting the dots from where there is too much to where there is not enough. In 2025 alone, we rescued and redistributed 225,000 pounds of nutritious and delicious food, allowing us to serve almost 250,000 meals to our neighbors right here in Buncombe County and beyond. For 11 years, we have worked hard to grow our mission, and we believe that it has never been more important than it is today, with SNAP cuts and federal funding cuts and rising food costs, to make sure that no fresh food ends up in the landfill while our neighbors don't have enough to eat. So please visit our website to learn more, get involved. It takes a village, an incredible amount of volunteers, financial donors, people spreading the word to move our mission forward. And I invite you to join us on our mission. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The work and ministries of this congregation are entirely supported by the generosity of our members and friends. We celebrate your generosity each Sunday with music and thanks. You make us possible, and we give thanks for you. The offering will now be gratefully collected. For the gifts of your time, talent, and treasure, we are grateful. We are also especially grateful to Finn Magill for sharing his incredible gift of music with us today. Thank you.
And so now we come to the end of our service, but it's not the end, and I really hope and pray that we have enough. I think we do. We have a gift for you as you are going forward. It's a word of blessing, encouragement, maybe reflection. The hope is that you will take some time and there's a basket that, as you go out, hopefully you'll take just one. There's sticky notes, so they may be sticking together. In order to share the blessing, make sure you only take one, preferably. And consider what this word may mean to you. Maybe it can guide you a little bit in the year ahead, because it is a blessing that you are here. It is a blessing that you are a part of this community. You are welcome. You are loved. You matter. So let's sing our closing song together. Will you rise to the peak of your physical and spiritual stature to do so? Go in peace.
How are you? Oh, great. Knocked it out of the park. So that's why I think that well, maybe I'll. Thanks. Yeah. Maybe I'll see you.